everyone, it's Justine with Blue Jay Orchids. So I went to the Venice show, and if you saw my last video, you saw a little bit of the show. And you also saw that I entered 3 of my own orchids for the first time. I'm laughing because my oldest is dancing on the other side of the slider. His dad's working from home today, so completely supervised, but very distracting. Anyway, so I entered 3 of my own orchids into the show, so I was going to talk a little bit about that process because it was a very fun and interesting learning experience. And I can show you one of my winners. So this took first place. I don't entirely understand how they judge them, so I plan on learning more about that. But as far as my own personal experience and the process I went through, it was, so I joined the Sarasota Orchid Society, so my orchids were part of the display. So it was pretty easy for me. I emailed the person that was in charge of accepting the plants, and then they have to go through and put the classes in and all that other information. So for me, it was very simple. I just emailed her a list of the plants I was thinking, and then she entered everything in for me. So I just had to bring them Friday, and then they were in the display, and then I had to pick them up Sunday. That's all I had to do. But if you can either do it that way, be part of a society and enter them that way where you don't do much work, or you can enter them on your own. So entering them on your own would be more paperwork, and you'd have to do some of the paperwork that I didn't have to do. And then what you're looking for is, obviously you're looking for the blooms. So you don't want the blooms to have defects, like you don't want them to be misformed, you want them to be bloomed out mostly. If you're entering a flowered orchid that's going to be judged on its flowers, it needs to be 50% bloomed. Now if you're entering a orchid that's judged on its foliage, like a jewel orchid, that one doesn't need to be in bloom because it's only getting judged by the leaves. But you want to make sure that your orchid is pest free. So like checking the underside of the leaves, make sure it doesn't have scale or mealybugs, other different orchid pests. And if it has a really bad infection or, pests, just don't bring it. You don't want to be the person that's patient 0, whose orchid infects or transfers pests to everyone else. It's basically like your kid going to school with a fever or the cold, and he's patient 0, and he basically gets all the other class sick. So when you're considering putting an orchid in the show, you just want to make sure it's healthy, the blooms look nice, and that you don't have any hidden pests or hidden concerns. Like sometimes, because I grow outside, I'll have an orchid that has a bunch of ants in it. I personally would not bring an orchid with a bunch of ants in it because they'll travel. So just some things to consider. So that's my little personal experience on entering orchids. And we're gonna go to the haul now. So I didn't get tons of stuff. So this is the first one I got. I'll put a picture of the flower. But I really like the zygos now. And this is a pretty, well, orchid flowers aren't blue, but it's as blue as the orchid flowers get. It's a very pretty flower. So there's the name. The other thing is I had to do it because the name. It has the name Bluebird in it. And then this one is from Accent Orchids. But yeah, I was very happy. Got it with 2 spikes. Very healthy plant. My other zygo is from Accents as well. I'll probably put that one in at the end. That one won a 2nd place ribbon. Alrighty, and then next is Brethren. There you go. This one has a bunch of roots. So we got 4 stems. 1, 2, 3, 4 spikes, sorry, not stems. And then here's the flower. It won't cooperate. There you go. Pretty flower. Turn it this way, you can see that one. Some more buds coming. And then there's actually 2 plants, so it has a basil keiki, or kiki. And then very healthy roots. I mean, I was very surprised this was here Sunday, and I told them that, and they're like, that's because it was under the table. That's the only reason this was there Sunday. And then here's the name on this one. There you go. And then this is Brethren Orchids. A lot of my orchids are from them. They're very nice people. Okay, we're not going to try to put that back right now. And then I got this from Crawl Smith. Got spike here, spike here. I'll put a picture of the flower. It's supposed to be a Phalaenopsis mini mark, but somehow the tag got misplaced, so I'll put the name and what the flower looks like. But yeah, I've been wanting this one for a while. And then it's not an orchid, but I've wanted this for a long time too. A pink princess. So this was also from Crawl Smith. I added the pole, but the plant is theirs. It's pretty big. Decent coloration. Whoops, spilling stuff. But yeah, I'm excited. I've been wanting one for a while. If anyone has any care tips on pink princesses, I am definitely open for that because philodendrons are not my specialty. Orchids, I'm pretty good at. I understand them. These, still learning. So care tips on the pink princess, let me know. So that's all I got from the show. So, alright, so the other little surprise I have for you is Saturday. I went and I rescued some orchids from someone that is a little overwhelmed with their plants. They're not in the best of shape, but I'm looking at them now. I have 2 in spike, 1 huge massive specimen, and I mean, they're gonna need some TLC, but I just wanted to help this person out because I am a plant person. I don't like to see plants in distress, but you know, it happens to all of us. Sometimes just life takes over, things happen. And I mean, I've done it too, where I've had plants that just don't do well in my environment and I've rehomed them. So I did buy these, but I also kind of rescued them. So I'll start with this one. I just already put it in the pot just for stability with some lava rock. I grow some of my Vandas this way because I have a hard time keeping up with watering them. And then also, if I end up entering it in something later, it's easier to have it in a pot. So this is a Ascasenda minitum or miniature or something. So there's the name, it's kind of faded. So it has some spotting. I think it's mostly due to too high of light and cold. But it has a bunch of keikis, which have bloomed in the past. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 separate plants in here. Then we have this spike that should bloom. And it had very, very healthy roots. So it just needs some TLC to kind of get the spotting, fertilizing, and just some care to kind of get it looking a little better again. But excited about this. And then this is going to be a little project. It has 2 spikes, but I'm going to have to separate it and clean it up. It's kind of stuck here a little bit. And then we have some rotting in the center. And then here's the name on this one. But yeah, I just need some TLC. And then I'm gonna keep these separated from my other orchids for a bit until I know for sure that they aren't virused. Okay, and then have this pretty big one. It has some spikes budding, and again, it just needs cleaned up. Some TLC. I don't have an ID on this one. It might be buried in the pot somewhere. But I mean, we got new growth. I mean, it's still doing pretty well. And then this one, it's the back half has died, but the front's still good. So we'll be chopping off the back and then just put it back in the basket with a little bit of different medium. This is another Busy Bev, which is one of my favorites, so I took a chance on it. But I'm confident that it should do pretty well. Just be going out under my tree. And then I'm good with the Den Nobili types, so this just needs to be treated for some pests. Looks like it might have some spider mites. And then it will need a repot. Right now I'm gonna just kind of baby it for a little bit though. That's the name on that one. From what I remember, I think my grandma actually has this one, so I'll post a picture of her flower of what it looked like. It's like a white flower, like a typical Den Nobili type, with some different colors in it. And then this is a no ID, but it's a huge Pathiopedilum with like mottled leaves. It doesn't look like it's bloomed in a bit. It might need either some, I believe it's calcium, or it might need a drop in temperatures to bloom. It had ants in the pot, so I'm probably gonna switch out the pot and repot it, give it some new medium. But, I mean, very healthy plant. Look at the roots. But yeah, just swap out the medium. Smells a little. But yeah, excited about this. Looking forward to getting it to bloom. But yeah, I don't have an ID on this one. Yeah, trying to put this back down. And then I have one other one that I'm going to try to figure out how to get to. This one I've already fixed up. It's just an Oncidium Twinkle type. But yeah, this one had like dead stuff in the center, so just took it apart, separated it, and then attached it so it's not moving. And we'll just baby it for a bit. But it has new growth. I have pretty good luck with Oncidiums. But yeah, so that was the surprise haul. So yeah, bought way too many orchids last weekend. Slowly and surely running out of space, but somehow I just keep finding space for more. And then I'll post some pictures at the end. We have a couple things coming up, like Plantillo's open house, and we have Palmer's open house coming up. I think we have another show. I need to look and get the dates on that. So whatever other stuff that I find, I'll post at the end of like the different shows coming up. And then hoping to do some nursery tours coming up. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Stay tuned and have a good one. Bye.